Welcome to the genre report. That's what I would call it. So basically, this is so I've been YouTubing about my weight for a little while now. So now that I've actually got the YouTubing thing started, I uh, I decided to come up with a little bit of a review playlist of the stuff I enjoy because I'm encouraged by some friends to do that because they think that I would be good at that. So I'm going to call it the genre report just because I don't think that one's used yet. I'll have to look it up and find out. But I uh, I like a little bit of everything, and that's all the genre stuff. Went ahead and put a new backdrop behind me. I got my Targaryen banner behind me. I got my Ghostbusters on. We're going to talk about all things nerd, really, when it comes down to it. All things genre. So I want to start this one today with first off a heartfelt. We lost an icon in the sci-fi community. We lost Kenny Baker, who was the the actor behind R2D2. He also was Fidget in Time Bandits. I had the opportunity to meet him at New York Comic Con, which is it was before it was a huge Comic Con at the Javits Center, which is a little tiny con up at the Madison Square Gardens. And I got a chance to meet him there with a couple of the other actors. I got to meet Peter Mayhew, who played Chewbacca, David Prowse, who played Darth Vader. Also played, saw Lando Calrissian himself, Billy D. Williams, and I got to see Yvonne Craig at that time also. So I've gotten to meet a lot of great actors over the time. I know Yvonne Craig was not in Star Wars, and I realized I jumped genre there, so Batgirl there. But I remember she was right next to Lando Calrissian, or Billy D. Williams. So, but yeah, we lost him today, and actually, we lost him yesterday, and definitely a loss to the community. I really had hoped that he was going to be in all nine of the movies because he's been in seven of them as R2D2, and you can tell that R2D2 has a soul in it, and he was the soul of R2D2. It wasn't just a little remote controlled robot, and so I'm really happy that I had an opportunity to meet him. So, but today I want to mainly talk about what I just watched, which was I just saw two movies. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll hit both of them. I'll start off with Suicide Squad, a little mini review of Suicide Squad. I would definitely say I'm more of a Marvel man than a DC man. So I will throw out that as an understanding first that. Never been a big huge DC fan. Other than I really enjoy the Flash TV series as well as Arrow TV series. I think they've done a really good job of that. I've even though I'm not a huge fan, I'm a fan of them. I'm not. I'm saying that on the argument of Marvel versus DC, I really seem to lean towards the Marvel franchise, but I also do enjoy the DC franchise also. And I love me some Power Girl. Power Girls, as far as the comics go, and as far as the art goes, I do love me some Power Girl. I think she's an excellent character, as well as Wonder Woman rocks as well. So I do like and I like Supergirl. So I guess I like the feminine characters of the DC universe a lot. And then there's always Batman. I mean Batman. And actually in the Batman versus Superman, I've always been more of a Batman guy. Um, and so I won't. This comes on the heels of Batman versus Superman. So and I will say spoiler alert. So this is a spoiler heavy review because I'm going to talk about the movie. So realize I will throw a spoiler alert on my thing saying spoiler review. So it comes on the heels of Batman versus Superman. So Suicide Squad it addresses the whole reason that Amanda Waller is able to get um, the Task Force X um, approved is basically that Superman is no longer here. What are we going to do against those threats? Um, and in that ends up creating one of those threats in her thing. So I would say the real villain of the Suicide Squad, it really is Amanda Waller. And I've never been a big fan of hers. I mean, she's popped up in a lot of of the DC extended universe. I'm a big fan of the DC animation. The Justice League War was a great movie, as well as Throne of Atlantis. They really have done a great job of rebooting the Justice League in the animated DC universe, and why Young Justice was canceled is beyond me, and I've signed the petition, and I hope you have too. Netflix needs to pick that show up because they were doing some amazing work on that, and Amanda Waller is in that as well, and her and her Cadmus buddies are always up to no good, and really when it comes down to it, I feel like she's one of the main villains of the DC universe in that she's trying to do right, but most of her stuff is wrong, and I think that she really showed. Yeah, I think there was a moment in the movie where Deadshot was there with Flag and Waller, and Waller takes out the people she was working with that trusted her, and because they weren't cleared, and Deadshot's like, yeah, and I'm the villain. And that's true. I mean, that's absolutely true. I think, that you really have to. She's a villain without scruples, whereas you have Deadshot, who is a villain with scruples. So yeah, I think that when it comes down to it, the movie itself was really well done. I think the way they opened it was kind of iffy. I mean, I think they could have maybe shown. It's the old dossier jacket. They open the from page. Here's Deadshot. Let's do a flashback. Here's Harley Quinn. Let's do a flashback. So there's a lot of flashbacks to just kind of justify who was in there. The thing about that I really did not like was that the character, and I don't even know what his name is, because he said it so fast. With a guy who can climb anything or something like that. It was what he called him. And Boomerang, of course, says, "Hey, let's break out of here. They're messing with our heads. There's no bombs in our head." And he's like, "Okay, let's do it." And then they tussle. Boomerang gets shoved up against the wall by Katana, and the other guy, goes to escape, and Flag blows his head off. Which, if you've watched any of the DC animation, this is basically Attack on Arkham, and I believe it was Killer Shark that got his head blown off. So there's always just to make sure you understand that. That it's that these are villains and they deserve to die. Just so you know that they're going to be jerks and try to break free, and one of them gets their head blown off. I mean that's it. Just the justification of hey, this is why they're going to do it, because they know if they move, their heads are going to get blown off. So you knew that was going to happen. Because I saw an Attack on Arkham, I knew it was going to happen here. What I found that they didn't do right was. They didn't do an intro for this guy, so literally, we used to joke on Buffy the Vampire Slayer that during the credits, we saw who was in the credits, and we realized if you weren't in the credits, or in the opening credits, you probably were going to die. So if Game of Thrones has taught us anything, the most impactful deaths are the ones that you care about the character and about the character. So if Ned Stark had died at the beginning of again spoiler alert, had died at the beginning of Game of Thrones, then you wouldn't have cared as much about him or about his family as you did by the impact of his death. So I think that this one was a very missed opportunity to at least, I mean, all they had to do was really give an explanation of who this guy was, so they were like, oh, okay, he's a member of the team, and not just kind of add it at the last minute. I mean, they did add Katana at the last minute and didn't give a lot of backstory on her, so maybe they're like, we're just adding a few more people just so you get a little bit more of a team, but it was obvious. This guy this guy's head was short for this world. Yeah, so I think that was a missed opportunity. I also felt like the villain was pretty good in that I think they like I said, I think Waller's the real villain of this, and but the emperor, the enchantress, and her brother, who I don't know if he got anything more than it was her brother. I thought those were some good villains but it's the old I'm going to kill everybody, so I'm going to create a big machine that takes a long time for me to create, just so you can stop me, kind of scenario. So yeah, it's the scenario. It's the I'm going to do something to wipe out all of existence, but I'm going to give you enough time to come against me and possibly stop me. So that's it's what it is. I mean, it's a standard storyline that is enjoyable to watch. You like there's definitely an end where the villain is beat, and you feel a sense of that. So I'm not hating on the scenario, because it's a standard scenario, and I thought it was really well done that she was like going to be a part of the team, and then basically got out of control, which was expected. But I felt that the when she enchanted the people, they felt a little putty patrol. To be honest with you, there seemed a little bit more like a what's it called, Power Rangers kind of vibe to it, of just basically fodder that she was tossing at people, tossing at them. So I thought the gold watch reveal was that these are real people was kind of a well done, but I also felt like in the beginning they really felt like they were just putty people, and honestly they probably could have used another couple of members of the Suicide Squad to get taken out, during these battles, just to give you a little bit more sense of, oh crap, yeah, they really are going into some bad stuff, that people that they're bad guys, they are actually committing, they're part of a squad that has more of a threat against them. So yeah, and I thought Diablo did a really good job. I thought that the character of Diablo and his feelings, I thought the emotions there were really well done. And Jai Courtney did not suck in a movie, which I call that a win in his career. He actually was a pretty good Captain Boomerang. I love that when they're like, all right, you can go. He's like grabs his beer and leaves. I was like, and I'll be honest with you. So he comes back. But I'll admit, part of me wanted him just to be gone. I thought that would have been a great exit for him, just because that's the kind of character that Boomerang is. Like, yeah, all right, I'm out. I'm not a hero. So Boomerang being gone is good. And I did like the Killer Croc shouted out he wanted BET. When she was offering any favors, so that was kind of fun. So there were some good moments there. Let's talk about Harley Quinn, though. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, and Jared Leto as the Joker. Wow. The question is, how soon can they get that Batman movie made? I mean, I don't want to see a Joker movie. But I do want to see, and I'm being a Batman Superman versus Superman. I wasn't a retractor of it. I didn't like them. I did find Lex Luthor's portrayal by Jesse Eisenberg to be too over the top and too Joker-esque. But the movie itself, I thought, was a pretty solid movie, and the real win there, aside from how awesome Wonder Woman was Ben Affleck. I saw Daredevil. I hated Daredevil. When I heard that Ben Affleck was going to be Batman, I was like, really? Ben Affleck as Batman? That didn't work. I thought he plays Batman as a I think he's been the best Bruce Wayne detective. I thought he really feel the gravitas of him being Wayne, and which is something that I've not really seen. They've all kind of felt a little off as far as since Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton did a pretty good Wayne, but I just thought that was the one thing that was kind of that Bruce Wayne is Batman's alter ego, not the other way around. So I thought this one was really quite interesting. That I thought his Batman played Bruce Wayne very well, and especially that great detective part of Batman. So having him in this movie was really quite enjoyable. So I thought that the takedowns that they had of Deadshot and of Harley were enjoyable as far as getting Batman involved, and also the mid credit scene was really kind of cool there. And I liked how he basically said, "Shut it down, or my friends and I will shut you down." Interesting thing I thought was odd in there, in the dossier at the end that she passed it to him. Enchantress was there. I thought that was kind of odd. Um, so I saw Aquaman. I saw Flash. I think in that dossier, but I also saw Enchantress, and she had just been beat. So I thought that was kind of an odd little thing there. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to come out of there. I think that was supposed to say, he's going to get the band together, which is what we already kind of saw in the trailer. So I don't think they were giving us more information, but I think that, and he already has the hard drive, or those files he got during Batman versus Superman, which already kind of told him about Aquaman. So it's all a part of the detective work, I guess. So I don't know if they're really putting they could probably do the breadcrumbs a little bit better, but I thought it was enjoyable to see him again during that, and to see his pseudo relationship there with Waller. Um, but I think Waller, and I wonder if how much problem Waller will be in the future. I think um, Suicide Squad has done okay, I guess. I think a lot of the friends I've talked to enjoyed it, which I did too. But I think it has had some critical reviews, so I don't know if we're going to see a Suicide Squad 2. Um, I would like to see Deadshot again. I would like to see. I think that Will Smith did a really great job as Deadshot. I was kind of iffy on that because I've seen Deadshot played by other characters, and I saw the cartoon. I wasn't sure exactly. I'm a huge Will Smith fan, so I was kind of wondering how he was going to play it, but he did. You could feel that emotion, and so I think that his emotional side has really kind of come around since that movie he did with his son. What was that called? Um, Earth something. Uh, yeah, that one there. He was one that he didn't. I didn't. I liked the movie itself, but it wasn't. I didn't feel the true emotion that he put forth, like in say Pursuit of Happiness. I mean, Will Smith's an amazing actor, and I think I saw a little bit of the old Will Smith there, so I really enjoyed that part there too. Um, but oh yeah, so I got off my track of thought there. But I do want to talk about Margot Robbie and Jared Leto's Prince and sorry, King and Queen of Crime there. Um, Prince and Princess. I thought the Crown Prince of Crime. I'm trying to think what the actual what they call Joker. Long story short, though, I thought that the flashbacks were very well done. I thought that the relationship was really well done. One thing in Attack on Arkham, she was actually pretty ticked at him, at the Joker. So um, they were actually on the outs. But whereas this one, I think they really did a great job of having this twisted romance kind of thing, and how much they cared for each other. So I thought that was really quite well done, and just the little moments like when the one guy was saying how something about crazy women, and she's like, what? Because she is one, and she had some nice little quips and nice little things. And I would definitely like to see her rocking the. There was that one little moment where they were doing the little dance thing where she was in the Harlequin, but I'd like to see her in full Harlequin outfit. That would be kind of fun. Um, but yeah, it was a really enjoyable movie, and I do recommend it. So check out Suicide Squad. Um, I also like I said I saw two movies last 2 days. The other movie I did see was the kids Disney movie Pete's Dragon, which I had some real good memories of as a kid. I don't really remember the actual storyline or anything like that, but I do remember liking it as a kid. So I was kind of iffy as we went to see that. We had some free tickets to that, so we went to see that yesterday, and yeah, I thought it was actually quite well done. Also, I think that the characters were really fun. I thought Robert Redford and Bryce Dallas Howard were quite amazing in their portrayals, and then they really added some gravitas. And Carl Urban, who's such an amazing actor, one of my favorite actors. I was supposed to see him a couple years ago at a Wizard World, and he had to cancel, so I didn't get to see him. But yeah, I feel like he channels DeForest Kelly as Bones on Star Trek, and I just really enjoyed most things I've seen Carl Urban in. Um, and the kid they had, who was Pete, I thought did a really great job, and the character of Elliot, the character of the dragon, the eyes were very expressive. The movements were really quite well. You really felt for him during that period of time when he thought Elliot was gone to him. So, yeah, there was a lot of good stuff there in that movie, and it reminded me of a lot of the old Disney. Fun movies of the 70s I used to watch when I was a kid during the Wonderful World of Disney. So that was actually kind of a really enjoyable movie also. So a couple great movies there. So I will, this has been a very positive review. We'll see. I tend to be very positive about movies. There's not a lot of movies I hate. I've had moments. My last one I had a hard time with was BFG, the Big Friendly Giant, which I found to be lacking in the wonder that it tried to portray, and somewhat confusing. So if this had been if I had done one of these after that, it would have been very much a feeling of what did I just watch? So there'll be moments, but so I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to do some genre, uh, uh, ranting and rambling about some of the different things I see and do, and some of the different genre I like. So if you like to have me share my thoughts on the genre report, please like, comment, and subscribe so that I know that you're interested, and I will try to make these as enjoyable as I can, and talk about the things that I'm passionate about, which I'm passionate about genre and all things nerd and all things science fiction, fantasy, superhero. I got a vast plethora of information in my head that I'm going to try to get out and share with you as I talk about it. So. Thanks a lot for watching. John Boone, over and out.